Okay, so I just watched this stream. It's about taxes and all this. If you have companies in the foreign companies in the Spanish territory, it's in Spanish for people in Spain. But I wanted to give, I guess, some kind of meta thoughts on this because how have I arrived here in the first place? Right? This is kind of the first thing I wanted to think about, and this is a WordPress channel, right? So this guy, Trinchera WordPress, is I'm in a Discord called Trinchera WordPress, which is about WordPress plugins and all this kind of stuff, right? So people who are in the WordPress business, and it's like I'm not in the WordPress business. Why am I here in the first place? And it's like because I was into web development and all that, and yeah, I guess I wanted to say, like, my reflection was that it was interesting to get here, even if I'm not in WordPress, because at the end of the day, like, these conversations are useful for people, even if I'm not in WordPress, like selling WordPress plugins or selling productivity consulting, right? It's still something towards which I want to get closer towards, right? It's something I want to get closer towards versus further away, right? It is, I guess it gives me a sense of direction, like, okay, these people are talking about interesting things, right? So maybe even if I don't care about WordPress plugins, it's worth not, for example, I don't regret not turning off the Discord notifications of this Discord because I got to see this. And yeah, some people kind of default. I think when you open a Discord account or whatever, you soon realize that turning off notifications is what you have to do. But kind of this is an exception, and I'm glad I didn't do it. And I'm glad I don't follow kind of the default things sometimes. Then my main question, I guess, they answered my question, which is nice. And my question was, why? Okay, you can see it here on the left, right? Well, it's in Spanish, but it's basically, is there any difference between a single person company? I'm not sure if there is a term for that in the US, for example. Like, I'm not sure if there are even tax differences in other countries about this. I assume there are, but maybe it's like an intrinsically Spanish phenomenon or something like that. Versus like a freelancer, I'm not sure if that status exists somewhere. But I think if you're like a self-employed person, you register as something. I don't know. I think that distinction does exist in some places. But yeah, I wanted to know why why the fuck do you have to report the profits of your company? If it's a company, why do you have to put it on your own personal income? It's not your income, it's the company's income. Like, why does this guy recommend you to do that, right? And yeah, he explained it as if the company doesn't do anything, right, then you should do that, right? It's like, it's the thing to do because they will they will take your company away or whatever, right? Or I'm not sure what the thing was, but yeah, I guess that's the takeaway, right? It's not the full takeaway because, okay, basically to relate it back to me, they use the example of a YouTuber or whatever, right? So if you are a YouTuber, it's like you are running the money through the company. To pay 21% tax instead of 45% tax in the upper bracket, right? But that's because they want to keep it for themselves, right? Right. No, but if you take it away, right, it's because you want it for yourself. But if you don't want it in the company and you want to keep it in there, right, for a purpose, he mentions something like depending on economic interests, right? And it's like, what is an economic interest? If it's something that has to make you money, is it something that can lose you money or maybe cannot? Maybe it can make you money in the long run. Right? Because I run it through, I also talk about it here. I talked about it in the production company sense, right? If you make a production company, a video production company, in my case, YouTube video production company, there are expenses, a lot of expenses, right? The point is that there are a lot of expenses, and obviously, it's like you have to put money into it, and then, yeah. So if it even makes money, right? it's like it has to have money inside, right? So the money that you make, for example, selling services, if it goes into it and it's made for funding YouTube videos, it's like you have to make money and accumulate it until you have the cash to be able to pay for shit, right? If you have profits, like they have to be there, right? Until you can pay for the shit that you want to pay. I don't know. That's basically my reflection on this live stream. And yeah, it was an interesting conversation, I guess. I guess that was the video. I want to talk about this meta part, aka the how did they get here and the community part and the blah blah blah, but also like the actual live stream. I think I have a lot of gaps in knowledge in this thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll ask a friend. I have a friend who has studied this kind of accounting or whatever, and I guess he knows more about this than me. So maybe I will be able to like fill the gaps of knowledge that I have on that end. But yeah, I'll have to make a note of it or something. Okay, I'm going to upload the video to the channel. So yeah, if you see this video, thumbs up. I don't know. Leave a comment, leaving your thoughts on this whole issue, or yeah, suggestions, or like how does it work in your country, right? How does foreign income? Because it's not really personal income, right? I'm not talking about personal income. I'm talking about this kind of company. I'm talking about the company versus person divide, right? It's like that division exists for a reason, right? It's like, what is it the reason? Because yeah, this guy in the left, he has a company. He's said it himself, and he does it for not for tax reasons, aka advantageously. Very advantageous, right? It's not for paying 21% versus paying 49% or whatever. No, it's because it's a hassle to operate as a human versus operating as a company, right? If you are a company, you can sell products and services. If you are a person and you sell products and services as a person, everything runs through this personal tax. So it's much more annoying, according to him. I have no fucking idea how this works. Yeah, so that makes sense, right? And maybe it's not beneficial for him because he has to keep accounting. If you have a company, you have to keep accounting. You have to do this shit. Do this shit. But actually, if you're a business, like you should be able to do that, right? Well, you should do it anyway, I guess. But yeah, you have to do it formally. So yeah, he does it. He pays the price, and also I think you have to have like capital, like three grand, like set aside for that, all that shit, right? Versus operating as a freelancer, right? But he said, the thing is that he said something like, if you are operating as a freelancer, you have to... No, if you are operating as a company, as a single person company, the tax, the IRS, Spanish IRS, gets mad because they think you are doing like one of these fake companies, right? If the company doesn't do anything, right? Which is kind of what he says he's doing, right? And I think, and like, I don't get it. Right? I don't get why would they get mad, right? I mean, I get it why they get mad because they make less money, but why is it wrong to be like, fuck it, this is my entity, this is a separate entity. I like this being able to depersonalize yourself into some kind of entity in order for the entity to do things, right? I find it kind of nice, right? Why do they put so many obstacles in it, right? So no one does it. I don't know. It's like, why can't you keep the money there? Why do you have to extract it and as if it were your own income or whatever? It's like, why is that like good practice? I don't get it, because that's what he says. Essentially, he says that it's good practice to do that, right? If you if you don't have employees, blah blah blah, you should extract it like that and as a salary, for example. He says as a salary, and then you pay personal income tax on that. But it's like, why is that the good practice instead of the good practice being like, no, actually, fuck it. I encourage you to keep it in the fucking fake entity in order for you to keep doing things with that fake entity, right? I don't know. I get it in the sense that if it's a single person entity, it's like the things that you do with the thing, with the company, right, are not proper expenses, right? But that is not. I don't know. I feel like the blurry line should be different, I guess. I don't know. That's it. That's my question to you. What do you think about this? Leave a comment about this kind of situation. Is it different in your country? How is the personal income versus company income separated? How is the line? How is personal business, mini business, blah, blah, blah? How are all those things dealt with in your country? Leave a comment. Bye.